What's up, guys? We're here at Mid-Atlantic Regionals in Poolesville, Maryland, talking with Jonathan Neeley, the captain of Truck Stop, who just won a regional championship. You guys were looking tremendous out there. You really came together during that game. Can you tell us kind of what was going on?
It was the best game we played all year. It was our most complete game. Our dump defense especially was playing strategically how we wanted. We were taking away what we wanted and forcing throws into certain areas, and our offense turned the disc over twice all game, I think, and we got both back. They didn't break us. So it was a good, complete performance from us. I'm happy about it.
I've been watching Truck Stop for a number of years, and I can say you guys looked almost the highest level I've seen you this weekend. So keep that up going into the series.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. We got another tournament. It's pretty important.
Nice.
So.
Now, Neeley has been a tremendous resource for More Performance because he's been one of the coaches that's been out in the trenches coaching the More Performance training philosophy since the very beginning. I think you started with the foundation, and then you came through Future, and now you've had FPT for a couple weeks now, and you've been using that. So he has a lot of insights as to how we can use this as both coaches and athletes. So if it's okay, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. Let's start with how can coaches use the FPT, the 1 through 8 kind of thought process in order to better train your team?
Sure. I mean, I think that what the FPT approach does is gives you a full idea of the ways you want to move, the ways your players want to move on the field, and how to train them. So what that means is you're maximizing your time rather than just doing a certain exercise over and over or warming up a certain way over and over just because it's what's been handed to you. You learn why your body needs to move a certain way, why you need to open up certain areas in your hips in order to accelerate better, why you need to work on certain areas down the side of your leg to change direction better. And then when you teach that to your players, you see growth on the margins of their athleticism that do not actually take that much work. It just takes an understanding. So from the lowest levels, you know, absolute beginners I've coached, to the college team I coached, George Washington, guys that are practicing 4 or 5 times a week, being able to tell them how to use their energy and how to understand their bodies better turns them into just better ultimate players. They move better, they look more athletic when they're moving on the field.
Awesome. Now, having implemented this in the club level and college level, would you say that there's many differences between how those two levels should train?
Probably not. I think that on the club level, you have guys and girls who are more used to working out, you know, in the gym, being in the gym and on the track, whereas a lot of times college players just go to practice. But fundamentally, the parts of their body that they need to be aware of and working to strengthen, working to mobilize, and we're playing the same game, whether we're at club regionals, club nationals, or college sectionals.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
So from the 1 through 8, SMR, static stretching, glutivation, active warm-up, linear speed mechanics, agility, strength power, conditioning. Which of the 1 through 8 has been most helpful for you as a coach?
Coach and player, the agility stuff. IFP, OFP, inside foot push, outside foot push. I think what a lot of people, myself included, before I got exposed to your stuff, don't realize, you know, the ways in which you change direction. If I'm going this way, or if I'm going this way, I'm using 2 completely different sides of my leg to change direction. And so when I learned that, when you teach that to players and you say, hey, there's a way to strengthen that, so you've got more pop, more power going this way, you can feel that. All of a sudden, changes of direction don't become kind of like a side thing that you do in between running. It's where you get powerful there. And I can get, rather than this far away from you on my cut, like I change direction and boom, you're over there. And I'm wide open.
So that's fair to say that agility comes from the hips and not these twinkle toe ladder drills that people thought was agility training in the past.
I mean, the ladder I think does help people with the muscle memory of where to put your feet. But your feet are only what are connecting to the ground. And I think if you look at the human body, it makes sense intuitively that the power is here, right? The mass is here, the big muscles are here. So yeah, if you can learn to drive yourself from here and from the glutes, that's where you're really going to get a lot of power.
Okay. And have you implemented the skip series, or are you doing just jab steps, crossovers, or all of it?
It's been a lot of jab step crossover stuff, skips. So I will say, like, as a coach, skips are something you have to practice, and so players are kind of like, I don't get
tough.
it.
You gotta do that.
Yeah, I think that takes a little bit of commitment. Should I implement the skip series more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because it's all about the hips, and that's a way that we can teach from day one. Let's push our hips away and let's push our hips underneath. And once they get that idea with the skips, then we take it into the ladder, then we take it into SERPs and crossovers.
Cool.
That's just the progression. Okay, so that's as a coach. What about as an athlete? Like, have you, a lot of people have just stumbled across module number 1, SMR. They just started rolling. Yeah. They feel better. They're decreasing injuries. And most people are saying that 4-way hip and which is module number 2, and module number 1, SMR, are the biggest game changers for them as an athlete.
Yeah.
So with your body, what would you say?
I mean, I would agree with that stuff. I think, like a lot of Ultimate players, I've been playing for a long time, virtually year-round. So the SMR and 4-way hip, stretching between using it during the week when I'm not playing, before I lift at the gym, and using it to warm up before games, it just has my joints feeling better. There's pressure taken off my joints. You don't realize that, like, by having tight glutes, your knees are getting pulled on, and that might be, you know, where your knee pain's coming from. That stuff's huge. Again, the agility, the IFP, OFP has been huge for me as a player, and I'm really excited to use more of the strength stuff that I'm learning from you in the off season, because you can see where certain lifts, and I'm starting to see it already, certain lifts have more of a translation to the way you might jump or the way you might change direction, rather than some of the traditional stuff you might just learn in high school. And
that's a big point for everybody to understand. Module 7, Strength and Power Development, is the off-season programming, and everything else is about grooving patterns, and then we're going to add strength and power on top of those patterns. So if we can teach an athlete how to abduct their hip and adduct their hip, then that's one thing, but they have to do module number 7. They have to add strength and power on top of it in order to really make that pattern more explosive. And that's big.
Yeah, you know, one thing I will say from using your stuff is people often don't realize the strength they do have. Like, if they get in the gym over the off-season, they're going to build strength, and they're going to build it functionally, which is big. But a lot of times, especially with my college guys, I see these strong players where most of their movement is being driven by their quads, or, you know, it's really from the feet. And so your stuff teaching you to move from your core, from your hips, you tap into the strength that you do already have, and then you build on that, and you just become a way better athlete, probably in the same time you're using, just more effectively.
Right. Nice. Neeley, I just got to say, man, I really appreciate the fact that you've come through the whole thought process. You started with Explosive Ultimate to Foundation to Future, and now FPT, and we've gone back and forth with conversations about it, and we're able to grow together as coaches and just as Ultimate. So you guys that have kind of been lurking and have been applying this stuff but haven't been telling me, send me an email, tell me how it's been helping you, because it's really going to be good to get the word out to the sport and thus increase competition and make Ultimate more fun and more safe for everybody. So congrats on the national championship.
I appreciate it.
Or the regional championship.
Yeah, one step at a time, right?
Yeah, even though Ironside is my team. We'll see you guys. Cool.